If you are new to this series, we have been going through every single national title claim in college football history for the FBS or highest level at the time it was claimed. At this time, we have covered all of the one-time and two-time champions and are moving on to the threes and beyond. Please go back and watch those for me after this if you enjoy this sort of thing. From here, some teams will still be lumped together and some will get their own depending on how much of an argument I feel is needed. So, let's get chronic. Prior to the college football playoffs and BCS national title game, we relied only on the polls to determine the college football national champion, with some formulas and short-lived systems in between attempting to better things. The polling system failed many times, with as many as 4 to 6 teams in contention that never even played each other. This often resulted in many split national championship years. Prior to 1965, some polls voted on their national champions before the bowl games were even played, and then saw their champion lose their final game. If you go back a little further, the first attempt to straighten things out came in 1936 with the creation of the AP poll, and was often the most respected poll for many years. But even then, the early media had their biases and favorites due to what they were familiar with. If all the writers and voters only saw Notre Dame or Yale, they would have no way to compare it to what was going on down south or out west, and usually just sided with what they knew. Prior to the AP, we had a wild, lawless 67 years of college football where many or no teams called themselves national champions, and a lot of those teams didn't even claim national titles in this era until more modern polls went back and retroactively named them national champions. Are you confused yet? You should be. While the AP poll is often the benchmark for a champion from 1936 to 1998, I would still argue that point. If the AP named you champion and nobody else did, that smells a bit fishy. Personally, I tend to side with what a majority of the polls say. So if the AP says you are the champ, but 11 others don't, I look deeper into the situation. And that's just me. You are free to do or think whatever you like.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
And of course, I view any titles won through the playoffs or BCS title game as automatically 100% legit from the start of the video, even if you disagree with the selection committee. And yes, I have also disagreed with them plenty of times. On the flip side, any that claim a separate title outside of those official parameters I view as complete bullshit, whether the selection committee screwed said team or not. History is history, and I respect that fact even if I dislike that fact. For the purposes of this channel, I'm only going by what the school actually claims. I will do a series covering unclaimed titles later on. I have added a layer to my tiers and now broken them down into 5 sections. 100% legit, debatable but fair, I see your argument but no, complete bullshit, and introducing 1941 Alabama, which will be reserved for the most imaginary or dumb claims that exist. Texas. One of the biggest fan bases in the entire country. Loads of legendary players and a few big seasons, just missing out on adding more titles. But as it sits, the Longhorns claim 4 and leave another 5 unclaimed. And remember, as I've said in posts and comments, I will be combing through all these schools' unclaimed titles and seeing if any of those are fair. But I have to get through this series first, so for now, let's look at these 4 claims to fame. Saddle up, everyone. Time to get chronic. The first claim for Texas is 1963. 1962 had been a 9-1-1 squad with a final ranking of number 4 in both the coaches and AP polls, so expectations were understandably high. The 1963 team entered the season ranked 5th. In week 4, they had risen to number 2 and had a huge showdown with number 1 Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout, where they came away with the 28-7 win to take over the top spot. Despite several close games that followed, they remained undefeated and ranked number 1 going into the Cotton Bowl against number 2 Navy and Heisman winner Roger Staubach. A rare, perfect championship matchup for the 1960s. The game was not great. Texas jumped out to a 28-0 lead entering the 4th and easily won 28-6. The Longhorns were named consensus national champion at 11-0, beat number 1 in a regular season game, and then beat number 2 in a bowl game while ranked number 1. Sometimes in this series, it's just that easy. The team had another shot in 1964, but then dropped off a bit for a few years until 1968, where they came close again, and then came 1969. The team began ranked 4th and dominated the first 3 games to enter the shootout with number 8 Oklahoma ranked number 2. A 27-17 win, and that one kept them perfect, and a dramatic 15-14 win over number 2 Arkansas to close the regular season gave them a perfect record entering the Cotton Bowl against number 9 Notre Dame. In a tight one, Texas scored 14 points in the 4th to secure the 21-17 win and a perfect 11-0 season. The Longhorns were named consensus national champions and are 100% legit on this one too. This is said to be the last all-white team to win the national title, and that's obviously not a good thing to brag about or anything, but I thought it was worth noting. There was another team that was perfect and ranked number 2. This team could also claim a share of 1969, and I probably wouldn't argue, but they don't. I'll cover them in the aforementioned future series. The following season was obviously a high expectation season as well. The 1970 team began all the way up at number 2, and things went good in the regular season, going 10-0 with key wins over number 13 UCLA 20-17, Oklahoma 41-9, and number 4 Arkansas 42-7. Good God, Hogs. Texas then lost the Cotton Bowl to number 6 Notre Dame 24-11 to finish 10-1, ranked number 1 in the coaches poll and number 3 in the AP poll. A reminder that the AP had begun naming their champions after the bowl games in 1968, and the coaches had not yet followed suit. Nebraska and Ohio State also claimed this title, and since I haven't gotten to either of those teams yet, I'll vaguely say one is most legit and the other less so alongside Texas.
Because I'm better than you, and you know it!
While the Coaches Poll Championship is a thing, again, remember that they named them champs before the bowl loss, which isn't Texas's fault, but still. They also were named co-champs by the National Football Foundation. In this case, I tend to side with the majority, and the majority, and AP for what it's worth, agree on one of the other two. I have to call this one. I see your argument, but no. If you look back retroactively and adjust things, and some formulas and polls have, you'd even see the coaches poll change their vote, likely giving the real champ a consensus title. That is obviously not going to happen, and hey, there are far worse title claims out there. I just don't agree with this one, but I do see where it's coming from. Here we go, 2005, a season I remember well as a teenager playing high school football at the time. Not a lot of suspense as to where I or anyone would rank it, but let's just have some fun reminiscing. The Longhorns entered the season ranked number 2 and, well, stayed there the entire season. The team beat number 4 Ohio State 25-22, number 24 Colorado 42-17, and number 10 Texas 52-17 along the way. In the Big 12 title game, the Longhorns had a rematch with Colorado and beat them by a measly score of 70-3. Hold up. Yes, that is real. 70-3. Anyways, entering the BCS title was a Monstar team across the way, number 1 USC. A Trojans team who had dominated almost everyone and gave us highlight after highlight of Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and Lindell White, just to name a few. But hey, Texas had a superstar too, Vince Young. They told us before this game that the Trojans were unbeatable, that the championship was inevitable.
I'm going with Texas Longhorns! Hook 'em, Texas!
I apologize for the language, and I've kept it mild lately, but to those claims, Texas said, fuck that. USC got the early 7-0 lead, but things took a turn on the now infamous lateral attempt by Reggie Bush steering a long gain led to a turnover. Texas then built a 16-7 lead from there, and then USC closed the gap to 16-10 at the half. The teams went blow for blow in the second half until finally USC had the game won, leading 38-26 with 6:42 remaining.
Not so fast, midget!
Hold on now. Vince Young then leads a 69-yard touchdown drive in only 2 minutes and 39 seconds, 38-33. Hold on again. Texas gets the ball back, again, with just over 2 minutes. I really hope you've seen what happens next, because if I try to show you, those assholes with XOS Digital Sports, whose AI detection scouring YouTube, will hit me with a copyright claim. If you haven't seen, go watch the highlights. Vince Young scrambled on 4th down and 5 from the 9-yard line and scored with 19 seconds left to give Texas the 41-38 win. Something they said could not happen, something that looked like it might not happen, and it did happen. This is 100% legit. Lately in this series, I've been ending with my thoughts on if I think the team in question will be adding to the trophy case anytime soon, like the next 5 to 10 years. With Texas, I'm going to say yes, but I could easily be wrong. The talent is there, the resources are there, the alumni and fan support is there, and hell, the team has been right there for several years now. One slip-up or underperformance, or the Georgia Bulldogs, is all that has held them back. Seeing as how they've kept themselves in the picture for a while now, it's not crazy to think they'll get it done sooner or later. Then again, they could just as easily stay one step away for a long time. I just think the odds favor winning that 5th title more than they don't. So yeah, I'm good with Texas claiming a legit 3 out of 4, but hey, I know this fan base is huge and loud, and I'm gonna catch flack for it no matter what in the comments. My opinion won't change what's in the media guide, on the side of the stadium, flags, banners, t-shirts, and so on. And there we go. If you feel I was unfair or missed a piece of info, go ahead and make your case in the comments. And remember, this is just one guy on YouTube who did some research and gave an opinion. I'm sure I won't change any fan base's opinion on the titles they choose to boast about, and certain fan bases have made that pretty clear thus far. This has been College Football Chronicles, and I hope you join me next time.